A lot of work's been done since the last update. Let me run you around the new layout and progress to date. The change has been, well, I'd say substantial, but complete. The only thing that remains now of the original Hillman Halt layout is the nearly finished, well, actually a lot to do, dockyard area, which is a bit of a dumping ground at the moment, but won't take too much to finish. We then have the revision to the track, which, as you can see, the new layout, as I covered in a previous video, is now a tail chaser with multiple tracks in. So let me take you into the middle and run you around. Firstly, coming from the dockyard, there's a feeder, and as you'll see, there's a couple of points waiting there which will ultimately go down through there to a helix to my fiddle yard underneath. But back to where we are now. What happens is that feeder lane brings us back down to 2 lanes, which then go under what will be a hillside and then come out the other end. As they come out the other end, they then move around. 2 more points there for what will be the other end of the helix to go to the bottom of the fiddle yard. We then come round a corner. So my 411, we go over what will be a hidden hillside area, come back round to my rather complex, but I do quite like it, junction, which does all sorts of things. It then carries on round and meets up again where we just started. I've also got my heritage line, which starts here, goes up a 4% incline, and then cuts through what will be the hillside. So there'll be a cutting there, and you can see I've put a point there because my thought is about running that further down in a raised section above the helix drop to another station, but I haven't thought, we'll work that one out. It then carries round the cutting, then comes back down a 4% drop, and then goes across the viaduct and back to the beginning again. As part of my mega junction, coming off the heritage line, there's a point here which will come round, and this will be a station here which will terminate. So it's just a terminus station. And the reason for this complex junction is that if you play it back, coming back out, I can either join the heritage line or I can go straight on down, and I've got the up and the down lines. So we can have a train coming up which can come onto this station if I need be, or coming down, I can then go on to the, what is the down line, but from where I'm standing it looks like an up line. So although that's not necessarily going to be used, it is about maximum playability. So I have some single slip, I've got some double slips there, so there are various slips built in to make that happen. Now, there are 2 platforms here. This is the heritage line platform. This is a placeholder, this one here, because what I'm also having is a 009 line that will just come around in this circle, 2nd lane across the viaduct, come back round again, and it doesn't touch any of the other track because it's 009. It'll come round parallel and then meet up back here again. And as a little teaser, Festinial Growaway, Prethrin Mainline Hunt Slit, This is a 009 gauge. See, it's still 1 in 76, but it's a lot smaller. It's 009 gauge, sound-fitted Bachmann loco, and the carriages I've ordered for it, which are slightly smaller, again 009 scale, are imminent. So a little teaser there, that'll be coming. I'll do a video of that when I've got the whole lot together. As ever, building my layout is all about learning, and time to start learning again. My 4% incline, I will fess up. I had to squish it a bit. I don't know if you can tell, but it's slightly tighter than the gap over the spacing over there, because I need to run it from that board there round and back down to here. I have limited space. So what's the big deal? It sort of makes 4%, a bit more than 4%, and I'm having a problem with my manor class running up it. I will show you. Okay, here's the manor class where it needs to go. I'm going to send around at 50%, so that's speed step 60, and let's see what she does. Through the tunnel. She'll come out here. Around the corner. Right, here she goes. Across the junction. Struggle. And we are pretty much ground to halt, and let's stop before we hit the end of the line. Yeah, you can see the problem, yeah? So you can see that by the time the loco gets up near the top, it runs out of speed, and it's not really the effect I'm looking for, having a train really struggle up a hill. It doesn't make sense. If you run it at 100% speed, full speed, of course it flies up there, but it's got momentum. Fix, two things. One, I reverse the layout and have this being the down, and then have this more gradual increase, as it should be, being the up. Sounds simple, but that causes a whole world of hurt because of the space required to run my platform here around the corner back here. So that's really not going to work, because that works, as you can see, space. If I turn around and reverse it, so make that the double slip, there's no space to put a platform. Also, because I need to run my 009 gauge as well. Second and preferred option is DCCConcepts make a gizmo that you might have seen on Chadwick for the Helix, where you put metal discs underneath, and I will put more where there are obvious sticking points that I identify, and then under the loco you put a magnet, and it just gives it extra weight and therefore extra traction going up. Now, given that the manor class can make it just at speed step 60, I'm hoping that with the extra traction from the magnets, that will give it just enough what it needs to get up. If it doesn't, well, I'm not going to worry about it if it doesn't yet. Let's just see if it does first. So that's the end of this update. I think this will be the last track update for this year. So there'll be another one in January 2024. I've still got some unboxing stuff to do with the 009 when it arrives. I've still got my 411, which you may have seen off to the side there. Just to release a video on. It's running nicely. But otherwise, track updates, it'll be next year now. So thank you for sticking around for this video. Please subscribe, please like, helps the algorithms, and speak to everybody next year. Take care. Bye-bye.